When a forklift accident happens, it's that moment every single manager or business owner absolutely dreads. But after all the immediate chaos settles, this one huge question hangs in the air. Who really pays the price? As we're about to find out, the answer is way more complicated than just a dollar amount on a check. It's a whole web of responsibility, with costs that can spiral completely out of control. So this is it, right? The central question. An accident happens, who pays? Is it the company cutting the check, the supervisor who was on duty, or the person who was actually driving the forklift? Well, the answer really starts with understanding the rules of the game. Okay, let's jump into Section 1 and get the basics down. Before we can even talk about who's to blame, we need to get a handle on the system of fines and penalties that OSHA uses to govern forklift safety. So what are we actually talking about when we say penalties? Look, these are not just some minor fees you can write off. These are the main tools that regulators like OSHA use to make sure safety rules are being followed and to hold companies truly accountable for protecting their people. And pretty much everything comes back to this one specific rulebook from OSHA. This standard, 29 CFR 1910.178, it covers the whole shebang, from operator training all the way to daily equipment checks. If you're in this industry, this document is your Bible. Now, check this out. Look at how these penalties escalate. A serious violation is one thing, right? But when an employer knowingly, and that's the key word, knowingly disregards a safety rule, well, that becomes a willful violation, and the potential fine just skyrockets, jumping by a factor of 10. And guess what? The same goes for repeat offenses. They don't mess around. And the consequences really fall into two different buckets. You've got civil penalties, which are all about money. They hit the company's bottom line. But then there are criminal penalties, and these are a whole different level of serious. We're talking fines plus potential jail time. These are saved for the absolute worst cases, where willful negligence leads to a worker's death. So, with penalties this severe on the table, it's pretty clear where OSHA's focus is. The main responsibility, the lion's share of it, falls squarely on the employer's shoulders. The buck really does stop there. See, under the law, the ultimate responsibility for providing a safe workplace rests with the employer. And this isn't just some vague concept. It means taking concrete actions, making sure every operator is trained and certified, keeping the machines in safe working order, and, this is crucial, documenting absolutely everything. You think skipping a quick training refresher is a minor shortcut? Think again. Letting an uncertified or improperly trained person operate a forklift is a big deal. OSHA considers it a serious violation, and it can come with a price tag of up to $15,000 for each instance. And this, right here, is the critical difference. If a manager knows a forklift has bad brakes but tells an employee to just be careful and use it anyway, that's not just an oversight, that is a willful violation. And that is exactly what makes these penalties jump into the six-figure range. It's about what you knew and what you did about it. When an OSHA inspector shows up, this is what they're going to ask for first. Proper documentation. It isn't just a bunch of paperwork. It's the employer's number one defense. It is the hard proof that you are proactively working to keep your workplace safe. Okay, so we've established the employer carries a massive burden. But what about the person actually driving the forklift? The operator. Are they ever on the hook for any of this? This is a really common question, and it's a critical one for every single person who gets behind the wheel of a forklift. If you mess up, can OSHA come after you personally with a fine? So here's the deal. The short answer is generally no. OSHA's job is to hold the employer accountable for the workplace itself. But, and this is a huge but, that does not mean the operator is just off the hook. Not even close. You should really think of safety as a partnership. It's a two-way street. The employer has to provide the right training and safe equipment, but in return, the operator has a duty to follow the rules, operate the machine properly, and, this is a big one, immediately report any unsafe conditions they see. So while OSHA might not mail a fine directly to the operator, the personal consequences can be incredibly severe. We're talking about things like official warnings, suspension, or even getting fired. And in the most extreme cases, an operator could even face personal lawsuits if their negligence hurts someone. Their actions are the direct trigger for those massive fines their boss has to pay. A fine from OSHA is often just the beginning. It's really just the tip of the iceberg. Now let's dive into all the hidden long-term ripple effects that can seriously damage a business for years and years. See, a single violation can set off this devastating chain reaction. It's like a domino effect. First comes the fine, okay? Then, almost immediately, your insurance premiums shoot up because now you're seen as a higher risk. Your company's reputation takes a hit, making it way harder to hire good people or even land new clients. And you can bet that from now on, OSHA will be keeping a much, much closer eye on you. When you add it all up, the official OSHA fine can actually be one of the smallest pieces of the pie. The ongoing financial bleeding from higher insurance, potential lawsuits, and a trashed reputation can easily dwarf that initial penalty. This quote from one of our sources really hits the nail on the head. The sting of a violation isn't a one-and-done event. It's a financial weight that can hang around a company's neck for years, hitting their bottom line long after they've paid that first fine. Which, it all leads to this one final, crucial question every company has to ask itself. Is your safety program just a binder collecting dust on a shelf? Something you made just to check a box and avoid fines? Or is it a living, breathing culture that actively protects your most valuable asset, your people? Because when it comes to forklift safety, the penalty you're trying to avoid isn't just about money. It's the one you can never, ever pay back.